Hi, I'm Angie Smith. When I was asked to provide reflections on this reading, I wondered if I could do it service. To be honest, I felt at alternating times both very connected and disconnected to everything in my life during the pandemic, including the parish community. I've missed celebrating weekend mass and seeing all of you, and I've also struggled with how to practice the celebration of faith at home. Reading today's gospel, I was struck by a sense of loss about the idea of gathering in a large crowd and sharing a meal together. It seems so normal. When will we ever gather like that again? When will we sit down for a meal with our friends and neighbors? If the story of the loaves and fishes took place today, would it involve circles scratched into the desert 6 feet apart, hand sanitizer, masked and gloved apostles distributing food in prepackaged containers to people who made reservations? Where are we in this story? Let's come back to that question about place after we talk about time. The second reading really spoke to me. Brothers and sisters, what will separate us from the love of Christ? The reading goes on to mention anger, distress, persecution, famine, death, and even the present times. It's almost like Romans is written specifically for us. Right now, in this time, in this pandemic, in this time of political upheaval and uncertainty, in this time of distress, we are supposed to be feeling God's peace. Honestly, I haven't been feeling that peaceful lately. I've been pretty focused on 4 different back-to-school plans in 2 different states and 1 different country. I'm worried about my parents. I see divisiveness everywhere and unfairness. I miss vacation. But this verse speaks to all of those things. It says nothing can separate us from God. Not even death, and certainly not a pandemic. We should know peace even in this time. Circling back to the gospel, where are we in this scene from Galilee? What is our place? Recall that Jesus went there after the death of John the Baptist to mourn and rest. Political tensions at the time were very high. The leader, Herod Antipas, felt very threatened by both John's ministry and his public criticism and by Jesus' growing popularity. He was very threatening. The people of Galilee were looking for answers, following Jesus into this barren place. Is that who we are? Are we those hungry people who are fearful and looking for leadership? Are we just there to listen, to eat the bread and fish, and then to go about the regular business of our lives? Do we just get fed, or do we even notice the miracle? I wonder if something more is required of us. In this story, Jesus' disciples tell him that people are getting hungry. If they're like me, that means they're getting grouchy. The day has been long and they are weary. And Jesus says, give them some food yourselves. Did you catch that? He sent the disciples to do the work. Surely he was preparing them for a time when he would no longer be with them. That time is now. We are the disciples. We are supposed to feed his people, literally and spiritually. We are supposed to care for our fellow man, to anticipate his or her needs and to meet them. We are supposed to know the peace of God and impart it to our neighbors. We are here to do the work of Jesus, even outside our routines and outside our normal practices. When he asks us to come to the table, it's not just to be fed, but to do something for others, to share the peace that we should already know. So I'm going to try to let go of some of the worry of these days and focus on the miracle instead of the meal. I'm going to focus on God's peace even in this time and this place, and I hope you can too.